Welcome into this Overreaction Monday edition of Seattle Seahawks Today, powered by Chat Sports. Tyler Jones here with you. Thanks for joining us as we share our final thoughts on Seattle's 34-14 win against the Atlanta Falcons on Sunday. We will scour the internet to see what you all had to say, and I will give you my reactions coming up in just a matter of moments. Before we do that, folks, as you guys know, with it being Victory Monday, that means that we got to celebrate accordingly here on the channel. It is the best way to do so, and that is let the world know that we got to win. Span W in the comments section. I want to see at least 300 W's to show some love for your Seattle Seahawks for getting it done and getting back in the win column, ending the losing streak, and going back over 500 again. First place in the NFC West. Vibes are good again, folks. Spam W in the comment section, and we'll get started with today's show. Let's begin with Mike Geral. He was the talk of the town after the Seahawks' performance yesterday. Got his first career start at the right tackle position, the 6th round pick. And the reaction about Mike Geral has been the answer. Is he the answer for this Seahawks team at the right tackle spot? And I got to tell you, I don't think it's an overreaction at all to say that Mike Geral could be the answer that these Seahawks were looking for at that right tackle spot. To kind of recap of where things have been at for Seattle at the right tackle spot. So if you recall, you had the Abraham Lucas situation, right, where Abe Lucas was banged up and had off-season surgery, ultimately placed on the PUP list, and the Seahawks sitting there waiting. All right, is this going to be, at this time, when is he going to make his return, right? We're all being very patient. And if you recall, Pete Carroll said it was a chronic issue, that he felt like it wasn't something that was going to go away for Abraham Lucas with this knee. And Mike Macdonald's remained kind of coy about, all right, when's he going to be back on the football field or not? So with those concerns, they bring in George Fant this offseason. And George Fant, not a bad backup by any stretch of the imagination. And you felt like, okay, George Fant can probably get the job done for the time being until Abe Lucas comes back. And then George Fant gets banged up week 1. You turn to Stone Forsythe. Stone Forsythe wasn't playing very well. He gets hurt. Now you go to Mike Geral. In the PFF grades, didn't necessarily tell the full story. That's why I'm not showing you the PFF grades for Mike Geral. But for his first start, for being a 6th-round guy, he did exactly what the Seahawks needed him to do, and he held his own against this Atlanta Falcons team. And you look at what the Seahawks are at with not knowing when or if Abraham Lucas is going to play again. I think as long as Mike Geral stays healthy, he deserves to hold on to that right tackle spot for this Seahawks team, and that you can feel comfortable with him. If that's the baseline, if that is, the starting point for Mike Geral of what he did this past week against the Atlanta Falcons, then I think you have some building blocks that you can feel comfortable with where he's going to go from here. I think there's reason to be optimistic. I liked what I saw from Mike Geral. Do you believe in Mike Geral? Is he the solution the Seahawks are looking for at the right tackle position? Could he take that job and hold on to it long term? Let me know what you think. Type B for believe, D for don't. Weigh in the comments section. Let us know what you think. Folks, I need you to sub for dubs here on today's show. We're bringing you content like no one else is here on Seahawks Today, with not only our daily news and rumors, but we're doing our live shows every Wednesday. We have our watch parties for every game day. Had a great time on our watch party yesterday. And on top of that, folks, we're bringing you breaking news. Anytime the Seahawks make a move, a free agent signing, a trade, have an injury, we break it all down here on the channel. This is your one-stop shop for all things Seattle Seahawks. If you're a diehard Seahawks fan, this is the channel for you. Subscribe now. Help us reach our next milestone, trying to get to 59,000 subscribers on the channel. Sub it up. Sub for dubs for the latest happenings in your Seattle Seahawks all season long right here on the channel. Let's talk Coby Bryant now, and a lot of people talking about Coby Bryant. Coby Bryant is that dude, and I got to tell you, I don't think it's an overreaction at all to say that Coby Bryant is that dude. You think about with Coby Bryant, where we were at with Coby. Was drafted out of Cincinnati, same draft class as Rick Wallen, and then plays that corner position, showed some good signs as a rookie. They move him to the safety spot, learning that position, and he was a very good corner in college. Remember, he won the Jim Thorpe Award playing alongside Sauce Gardner as his teammate there at Cincinnati. And then we see last year he gets pretty banged up, which set him back, obviously, in trying to learn this safety spot. And yesterday, big opportunity with no Rayshawn Jenkins there. And we heard the rumblings about, hey, is Jamal Adams going to come back? Are they going to go look for a safety? And Coby Bryant, he answered the call. He stood strong with his performance, leading the Seahawks with 11 tackles, had an interception, had a pass breakup. The only thing that has held Coby Bryant back is the injuries. I think that he's shown that he can get the job done, and he's a good fit for the Seahawks defense. I think there's reason to be excited about Coby Bryant and what he can do for this team going forward. And even if Rayshawn Jenkins comes back from injured reserve, I'm looking at the flexibility that Coby Bryant could provide. We know that Mike Macdonald wants to run those three high safety looks. We saw a lot in Baltimore with using Kyle Hamilton and Geno Stone and Marcus Williams, and used it effectively. I think that Coby Bryant potentially could give that option for this Seahawks team, even if Rayshawn Jenkins comes back. So, yes, more Coby Bryant. He is that dude. He's bringing the Mamba mentality. Spam 8 in the comment section to show some love for Coby Bryant here on today's show. I was very impressed, and hopefully there's more of it to come for Coby Bryant as far as that goes. Today's show is sponsored by Prize Picks. Prize Picks is the place to go for daily fantasy made easy. Here's how it works. Choose two or more players in any given category. Get the choice of more or less, whether you're talking fantasy points in football, rebounds in basketball, goals in hockey, home runs in baseball, all sorts of different categories to choose from. And Prize Picks has got a great deal right now that they're offering. With Prize Picks, if you put $5 down, they're going to give you $50 to spend for free. You don't have to win to get the money on Prize Picks. It's a great promotion that they're offering right now. And I got to tell you, I'm on a heater on Prize Picks right now, folks. I had DK yesterday with the more, and I also had Kareem Hunt with the more. And I put $20 down. It turned into $60 on Prize Picks. And if you play along with me, the same thing can happen for you, folks. Prize Picks, proud partner of Seahawks today. Turn that 5 into 50. PrizePicks.com/CLNS, promo code CLNS to play along with us. Prize Picks, a lot of fun. And if you aren't playing, you should be playing. Prize Picks, we're glad to have them on board here on today's show and making this video possible. All right, let's talk about DK and his injury situation. The injury for DK, a bit concerning. It's actually an overreaction based on what we heard from Mike Macdonald yesterday in his post-game news conference. Macdonald said that the injury to DK doesn't look that bad. And Ian Rappaport put out a report today that DK's injury is not that serious. It's not a major injury. It might be an MCL strain. He's going to get some further testing, but DK seems to be fine. So that is a huge relief for this Seahawks team that DK is going to be fine as far as that goes. And he had a great game yesterday. I mentioned that I did well with him on Prize Picks. You go back and look at the numbers for DK, and he finished with 4 catches for 99 yards and a touchdown, averaged close to 25 yards of reception, had that big 35-yard catch. DK was fantastic, and he was one we talked about in our keys to victory for Seattle, that they needed to take advantage of DK, that use him and get him back to true form, that he could really take advantage of this Atlanta Falcons defense, and he did so with a huge first half. And I liked what I saw from DK. Sounds like the injury, he's going to be okay, which is a huge relief. Everybody can breathe on that front. So I'm not concerned. If Mike Macdonald's not concerned, then I'm not concerned. Are you concerned about DK Metcalf and the injury there? I know that seeing a guy get carted off the field obviously raises some red flags, but hearing what Macdonald said, are you concerned about it? Weigh in, let us know in the comments section. Type Y for yes, in for no. if you're concerned about DK's injury or not. Let's talk Zach Charbonnet now. And I heard a lot of you be very critical of Zach Charbonnet throughout this season. And there is a belief amongst a decent amount of Seahawk fans that Zach Charbonnet isn't a very good football player. And yesterday didn't necessarily help his cause as he ran 8 times for 19 yards, had an average of 2.4, and he also had 1 catch for -5 yards. It wasn't his day. But for the haters, the naysayers out there that are trying to write off Zach Charbonnet, I got to tell you, 2 things can be true, all right? Zach Charbonnet might not be a number 1 caliber running back in the National Football League, but he's not asked to be. Everyone knows that K9, Kenneth Walker, is still your number 1 running back. That has not changed. But Zach Charbonnet is a very capable number 2 running back. And I think between these two, what you are asking for is to get the most out of both of them. You want to see both players play at a high level. And I think the way this Seahawks offense operates with using both guys, you roll with the hot hand. And yesterday, Kenneth Walker had the hot hand. He was the better running back. He rushed for nearly 5 yards a carry compared to about 2.4 for Zach Charbonnet. And I'll say this, for the people that want to write off Zach Charbonnet, that say he's not a good football player, that want to see more of K9 and Kenny McIntosh and all that, I would tell you that we've seen Zach Charbonnet have his days where he's looked good. And the reality of it, folks, in the National Football League, sometimes it's your day, sometimes it isn't your day. And it wasn't Zach Charbonnet's day yesterday, but I'm not concerned. I think he's going to be fine. I think he's a good number 2 running back option. And if something were to happen to Kenneth Walker again, we've seen Kenneth Walker have the injuries, he can get the job done. So I'm not going to sit here and write off Zach Charbonnet. I think he's fine as a number 2 running back. I think that you got a good backfield with these two. I think that this running back stable is one of the best young running back cores in the National Football League. So I think it would be silly to say that Zach Charbonnet should just fade to black and not be a part of this offense. I think he can get the job done, even if he had a bad game yesterday. It wasn't his day, and that's fine. Seahawks still won. Kenneth Walker had a good game. Last on our overreactions for Overreaction Monday, this is a playoff team. And that is not an overreaction. I know that you look at the 3-game losing streak, and it was rough sledding. Losing to a bad football team like the New York Giants is not fun. And I'm not going to sit here and act like that's an excusable offense. That's a bad loss, losing at home to the New York Giants. But you think about what the Seahawks went through of these last few games. They played 3 games in 11 days. That's a lot of football. That's a lot of work on the human body. And then you have the mini bye week, a few extra days off, 10 days leading up to this game, going on a road trip against Atlanta, who, might I add, going into this season, people were talking about this Falcons team as one of the favorites in the NFC, the favorite in their division, a team that could compete for the NFC title, and you beat them on the road going all the way out east for this win. This is the best the Seahawks have looked all season. And the thing I told y'all this offseason, somebody reminded me in the comment section yesterday, was I told you that this would take time for this Seahawks team to figure it out. That usually when you have a new offense or a new defense, I mean, there's some growing pains. It usually takes about 6 or 7 weeks, sometimes 8 weeks, to figure out who you really are, what you are as a football team. And that's just if you have one new system. You had an entirely new system on both sides, a new coaching staff. I still believe this team's best football is in front of them, that they still have a ways to go, but they're figuring it out. I think yesterday was a step in the right direction. There's reason to be optimistic about this team going forward. And to add to that, you look at the division race right now. The Niners are not playing good football. They looked awful yesterday against the Kansas City Chiefs, suffering that loss by 10 at home to a Chiefs team that didn't have Pacheco, didn't have Rashee Rice, didn't have Hollywood Brown, obviously, he's been out all season. But that Chiefs team, I mean, you went up against some of their JV guys. I mean, Noah Gray tore up that Niners team. So the division is still certainly within reach. You're leading the division. You got 3 wild card spots in an NFC that's just crazy this year. This Chiefs team very well is still playoff caliber, and I think that they're going to get better as this year goes along. I think this team still looks like a playoff team despite that 3-game losing streak they suffered. Who wins the division? I think it's a 2-team race. I don't think it's Arizona or LA. I think they're out of it. I think this is down to Seattle and San Francisco. Get your predictions in. Type C for Seahawks. Type SF for the 49ers. Let us know in the comments section. Appreciate you joining us here on Overreaction Monday. More to come throughout the week on the channel as we'll be getting you set for the Seahawks matchup against the Buffalo Bills. Going to be the Seahawks' toughest test yet. And subscribe now. Stay tuned. We got plenty of great Seahawks coverage ahead here on the channel this week. Get those W's in the comments section. Celebrate that Seahawks win. And we will see you next time right here on Seahawks Today.